Okay, so let's go for a little walk along a bridge from the main sanctuary building behind me, along to where they're gradually extending. There's a new maloka, the ceremonial hut being built there, which I think is for Wachuma ceremonies. I don't think that's finished yet. Some more housing, and then there's a path that goes up to the top of a hill, and there's a platform there, this stone platform called the Star Deck, which is really deserves the title because you can just go up there, stare up at the sky, and the stars are so bright here. It's amazing. I've never really got the chance to see them look like that before. As you can tell, it's pretty hot. A lot of the guys here, we've just kind of given up on most clothes for now. So yeah, it's now the final ceremony will be tonight. It's for the first time it's back-to-back ceremonies, and last night we had number 3. About an hour ago we had the sharing, the talking circle that followed that. It seems like there's a huge variety of experiences that people have in each of their ceremonies. Some people had really intense and really difficult experiences. There was some. There's always some tears in the sharing, but some people had a really tough time. I, on the other hand, had a much kind of lighter experience than I did on the second ceremony I talked about before. It actually took longer for the medicine to come on, and I sat there. None of the sort of weird, menacing stuff happened that had happened to me before, where the scenery started taking on this really negative, scary feeling. Instead, it was the point that the candle was blown out. I felt really nervous going into this one. I'm not totally sure why. I wasn't worried about anything specific, but I was really anxious, and I could feel that in my breath. And about half an hour before I went into the ceremony, I had to really concentrate on my breathing and try and still things there and just get calm to a calm place. But then when we went into the Maloka, everybody just spontaneously started giving each other hugs and saying, "Safe journey, I hope you have a good journey tonight." That was so special. I mean, the group has really grown together, and there's so much care and respect and appreciation for each other, because we're all doing something which is extremely difficult. Not many people do it, and we're sharing every step of that together. And even though, I mean, it's a fascinating thing, these are people who in any other capacity I probably would never have met, but we all have something really important in common here. So that calmed things down a bit for me, and maybe for other people as well. And we had this good feeling in the room, and then I kind of went through some of the same sort of negative vision stuff again. I think it's connected with the nausea created by the medicine, but I felt a distance this time, that I could sort of take a bit of a step back and say, yeah, I know, I've seen this, it's okay, I'm dealing with that. And some of what had seemed really disgusting and overwhelming before seemed a little bit silly, just like, yeah, it doesn't matter so much. But what that means, I don't know. I have a feeling when looking at these things that it's kind of looking at the trash inside my head, all the negative things, kind of the sewer in there, probably, you know, the negative things that aimed at myself, and all these things are, when I see them in the vision, all aimed to try and make myself disgusted. And then not a huge amount really happened in my ceremony. I was tired, and I fell asleep a few times, which I'm a little sort of, I would rather I hadn't done that, but I did. So, you know, that happened, end of story. I know that I definitely did, because when I was being called to the healing mat in the center, because Don Robo has been working on this shoulder to do some healing work on that, I was definitely kind of prodded awake to go over there. The only thing that sort of really stood out that was more than kind of visuals, some patterns and so on, was I thought about, I'd asked as my kind of intention going in to help show me what my my mission should be. What is the story? What's the story I should be living? What's the mission that I should have for myself in life? And I've been knocking around this idea. It has something to do with writing, because it's what I'm good at. I like doing it. I mean, it's hard work and sometimes it's tough, but in one form or another, I've always written stuff. But I felt deeply anxious about talking about that, and I don't know if it's something that I really want to sort of say, oh, I'm a writer, because I don't know. I kind of panic. In fact, you know, saying it right now, I'm like, is that what? Do you want to talk about that? Is that true? Are you putting yourself, just trying to put yourself into that category because, you know, it sounds like a plausible thing to say, but really isn't what you want to do because you haven't worked that out, you haven't discovered what it is? I don't know. But so I thought about that, and I saw a page of handwriting, and I was kind of, my hand, or a hand, was kind of finishing, writing a sentence, putting a full stop, and looking at that and just letting go, because I was thinking other people had said, yeah, just, you know, you kind of let go of the tension surrounding an issue that you wanted to think about, and suddenly I just purged, and it was not the kind of really difficult purge that I've been having recently in the other ceremonies. It was kind of more straightforward, and so much came up. That wasn't in my stomach. What the hell was that? But it came up, and there we go. And yet, I think it felt like I was getting rid of all of these layers of fear and resistance to this idea, this issue. But I don't think it was everything, and I asked Mother Ayahuasca, is that enough? And the answer seemed to be, that'll do for now, but there's something left. There's something left in there. And I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means, you know, I don't have an answer, or I do have an answer. Maybe it represents stripping back some elements of the worry that I have about it. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. And then I think the only other thing to say that really happened on this occasion was I went, at the end of the ceremony, I was quite cold, since established with some of the others that it was actually fairly cold. It wasn't just me. I went back to my room, and I went into the bathroom. The green tiles going totally crazy. They don't seem to work well for me with the medicine. And as I was about to walk out of the bathroom, I kind of glanced in the mirror and sort of caught myself, I looked back, and I had this moment where the person who I was looking at in the mirror obviously was me, and I could see that, but it was also distinct from me, the looker. It was two versions of me, and a voice in my head was kind of going, oh yeah, just say something silly, meh, negative voice, talking to yourself. I just kind of silenced that voice for a moment, and I looked in the mirror, and I saw me looking back, and he looked at me and he said, I love you. And he smiled, and I looked at that guy and thought, you know, that seems like a nice guy. He seems like a good guy and someone I could trust. So, whilst suppressing, you know, the continuous sort of inevitable negative voice that's like, yeah, you're talking to yourself in the bathroom, that voice, I'm trying to keep quiet, but yeah, that still felt like a pretty special moment, and obviously builds on the previous ceremony. So I got something important out of that experience, even if the ceremony wasn't bursting with crazy, well, it was, but bursting with particularly clearly meaningful, message-filled moments and images. So tonight is the fourth and final ceremony. It feels pretty intense to be going directly into a ceremony today, but it's the last one. I believe that Don Howard said that they reduce the amount a little bit, although if we want more, you can ask for more, though obviously it's still at the discretion of the shamans running the event. And I think we're all gonna be there. I think, even if maybe not everybody will drink. I think probably everybody will, but some people are feeling a bit overwhelmed, and some not feeling super full of energy, and you need energy to be able to do this. I'm going to take a nap before the ceremony, but I think everybody's going to be present at least. And Don Howard said it would be good, it would be positive, all the energy in the room, everybody could be present and just enjoy the Icaros and bring a positive energy to the space. So it feels good, it feels right that this is going to be the last ceremony, but of course it feels a little bit sad as well that there's an ending coming, but this is work that will continue well beyond the time that we spend here, and I'll let you know how that final ceremony goes, and briefly show you here. I've walked up to the star deck. I don't know how well you can see behind me as the sun is setting over the Amazon, and around here this is the deck, and this is, I don't know exactly what this is. It's some kind of sacred stone, I think related to the Wachuma ceremonies. Anyway, I'll say goodbye for now, till next time.